What's happening, bunnies? Today's gameplay is a very interesting feather hunter comp. We've done these before, but why this one is special is because we focus on the role of Siren. Siren came in clutch at the end of this match. We were doing quite shockingly with this comp, and we decided to make a big call by swapping out Tsunami Stalker for the Siren, and I'll let you guys see the results, and hopefully you guys can pick up something you can use in your gameplays. Hope you enjoy. If you do, don't forget to drop a like and hit that subscribe button, and we'll check you in the gameplay. Enjoy. Alrighty bunnies, let's jump straight in there. Today's gameplay is one of the comps that is pretty much standard meta comp at the moment, but I think why this match was so interesting to me, and it's something that I think that you guys will be able to use to help you work with your gameplay as well, is because in the later rounds we end up going up against a Glacier Knight comp, which is quite a strong comp as well. And the reason it's important is because I've been watching a lot of the GLL Auto Chess House Cup comps, which is a really high level competitive playing environment. And aside from mages and dragon mages, Glacier Knights has actually been utilized quite a lot, and a lot of the guys are really building good Glacier Knight compositions and doing well with them. So the comp that wasn't working really well in that competition, as far as I've seen so far, is the feathered comps, which is surprising because in your general gameplay and amongst most of the streamers, feathered comps have been really good. So what's interesting with today's matchup is that we're going feathered, we're going a feather hunter comp, and in the later rounds we're up against a really strong Glacier Knight comp, and I think it's nice to see how we can actually get through Glacier Knights using the feathered synergies, and to see if we can actually make it work out. So that's what this video is about. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. It's a good game. It's a really good game. So let's jump straight in and see how it's going. We have a bunch of guys going Goblin Mech, which is standard for opening rounds. I think if you're going to open into something and you don't have any immediate synergy or a really strong unit available, your Goblin Mechs are just a good go-to setup, and you can actually transition out of that quite easily. It's really strong. It's actually quite heavily strong in the early game, and so if you've got no other options, nothing wrong with going with a really nice Goblin Mech comp first up. You'll see we do pick up a Taboo, so potentially already considering feathered compositions, and I think that Taboo is one of those units that you can really just roll with early game and be able to branch into many different options. So I always pick up a Taboo if I can, and we pick up the 2 warriors as well, just in case we pick up some more warrior comps or pieces, and can then move into some of the warrior comp options. The Stone Spirit also opens up Spirit Mage, so that's useful for us, and obviously we then have the beast and the druid options with warrior. So let's see how it plays out. We have a quick peek to see what the other guys are running, but we do see a pair here, so now we need to make a decision, and I think we'll probably take I thought we would have taken both E ranges there as well, to be honest. We pick up the Water Spirit for the potential Stone Spirit, Water Spirit sort of comp, where we look at mages later stage. But at this stage we don't have a clear direction. We're not 100% sure where we're going, so priority is building a really strong, heavy early round comp so that we can try and move into win streak territory, and that's what we've done here. So we've got the 2-star Skybreaker, and we've built up the other Goblin Mechs, and that's going to really help us just to hang in there in the early rounds while we decide which composition we're actually going to finalize and move into. So options are still open, And the Wind Ranger and the Warpwood Sage is definitely interesting for us here, simply because we have the Taboo already on the bench, and that gives us 3 feathered units. It also opens up the potential for a full feathered synergy, and based on that we get rid of our Stone Spirit options and we eliminate those. So we say, okay, cool, we've got a potential Warrior Hunter build, so maybe let's keep those options on the board. We already have 2 tusks, so we could get a 2-star soon. Let's not get rid of that option. We have the Swordman Red Axe Tusk combo if you want to go into a warrior build, and we have Wind Ranger, so we can go Warrior Hunter as well. And then we can also go Druid, or should I say Feather Druid Hunter, because we have the Wind Ranger and the Warpwood Sage on the board. So still various options available, and this is sort of the general process that I run through when it comes to determining which comp I'm going to move into. Keep the options open, see what the shops provide, look at what the other teams are playing, and try and go for something that they're potentially not playing, so that you have more pieces available and stuff that could be effective against the comps that they're building. And then based on what the shop provides, make a decision and eliminate certain compositions as you go along that journey, and eventually you'll know, okay, this is the one that I want to be working on. So at this stage we're still relatively open. We're looking at keeping a strong front line and getting our Wind Ranger to get some DPS off on the back line. What we know for sure is that we're not going into a Goblin mech comp, so we get rid of those units that we're not going to be using and that aren't providing us substantial value, and we rather have the 2-star Tusk on the front line to hold back the opposition for us. We do lose this match, but it's extremely close. I think with a bit of RNG that match could have gone either way, and so our win streak is no longer happening, but we do win on the other board. So we know that our team's not necessarily the strongest out there right now, and looking at it, it wouldn't be. We don't have any synergies running yet. I mean, obviously we have the mech synergy, but you know, we don't have any substantial synergies running at the moment, and so we decide to make a call. I'm assuming the call is going to be to, actually I thought we would potentially have put in the Red Axe Chief there so that we could get our 3 warrior synergy, but we instead put the Taboo on the line, and maybe that was just a last minute decision. I think we might change that soon. If we want to get the feather synergy going, we'd need to put the Warpwood on, but at 1 star I'm not very keen on Warpwood Sage. I think that he's not really that strong. Once you get him to 2-star, he's a usable piece, but I'm not keen on him on 1 star. Okay, so we lose another match. We get rid of the Red Axe, which means that we have made a decision in our head to go feathered, and because we pick up the 2-star Taboo, that will cement that idea in our heads, and I wouldn't be surprised if we spent the $5 here, yeah, there we go, just to level up to level 6 and get our 3 feather synergy going. We do also have 2 Wind Rangers, so we don't put in the Warpwood Sage. I noticed we might just get rid of the Swordman and put in the Warpwood Sage instead, and we actually do that. Okay, cool. So now we have 3 feather synergy, and we also we have 2 Wind Rangers on the back line. Wind Rangers are really strong early round units because they have very high DPS. So you can see now, even though they're 1 star, they are providing some substantial DPS there, and that's going to be really useful for us. So we might not win this, but it's going to come down to a bit of RNG and who gets off their stuff first. And we actually hit a draw, so 2 Wind Rangers face to face, and we hit the draw, so that's all good. I think our comp is starting to take shape now. At least now we have a direction in terms of where we want to build our synergies. And that'll help us just to make sure that we stay on track and that we buy the right items and the right pieces. Do we get rid of the Swordman here? I think we could, but it's not going to get us to our 20 interest, so not necessarily that important right now. To our 20 interest points, sorry. And it's a creep round anyway, so let's not make any drastic changes. Let's see what the shop provides next round, and we can make decisions from there. I think we'll be pretty comfortable here, I hope. We do have a reasonable amount of tankiness, so we should be okay, especially with the DPS coming in from the back line there.
My close good luck.
With rock columns, hunter comps are really good if you have a nice strong front line, because the rock golems aren't like Wolfpack that jump to the back, so you can actually just block them off in the front line and just hit the DPS as much as you can. We pick up a dwarf now, so and a whisper. Okay, so that's definitely going to cement us into the feathered realm here, and I wouldn't be surprised if we swapped a dwarf sniper in for one of the wind rangers. It brings us one closer to hunter synergy, but also dwarf sniper is just an amazing piece, so he's also great when it comes to DPS. And between him and Wind Ranger, we should be in a pretty decent backline position now, because our front line is quite strong and he's going to hold them off quite nicely. Unfortunately, we do run into an assassin here, and that's never fun when you've got a low quality backline. But I think we'll still be okay here. Our front line's strong enough to resist the attack.
Candle in the wind.
Goteto sitting on the top on a nice 5 win streak there, 98 HP, so feeling quite comfortable and happy with himself. His econ's also good at 29, and we need to focus on building up our econ now. It would be really great if we could get one more Wind Ranger, just get the 2-star backline there. That'll really help us to carry us through a few more of these rounds as we build up our squad. What a lot of you guys will already realize and know is that Feather is one of those compositions that is actually really good to lose streak into, and that's generally how people will get into the Feather comps. And we're sitting third, so we're not lose streaking into it. We're kind of middling at the moment. We're winning some matches and losing some matches. But if we could cement a strong backline now, we could actually potentially move onto a win streak, and that would be really helpful for us. That would be good news for us. Win streaking into a feathered comp is awesome, you know, if you can get that right. We do have we already have 2 of our druids, so we just need the unicorn and the razor claw, and then we can start leveling up those 1-stars really quickly. So I think we're in a good position right now. We also get our hunter synergy in with the E-Ranger, and and our team could be a force to be reckoned with in these early rounds if we manage to get our backline a little bit stronger. Now we have a mage comp. They've already got mage synergy in there with the Shining Dragon, the Flaming, and the Thunder Spirit, but their front line is not strong enough for ours, so I actually think we're going to take this quite comfortably, and we do, reasonably comfortably.
My cloak's good luck. It only ever caught fire twice.
And here's our razor claw.
Fight first,
So that's great news for us as well.
later.
Yeah. In a normal game, I might have put razor claw in instead of warpwood, but because we've already got the 3 feathered synergy, it doesn't make sense to do that just yet. Razor claw strong at a 2-star level already, so hopefully we can pick up another one of him quite soon. And as you can see, we're most likely going to start getting rid of the Skybreaker and the Tusk Champion soon. Once we manage to 2-star our Razor Claw, 2-star Warpwood Sage, or potentially even the Whisper Seer, and move those pieces onto the board. It's also going to contribute more to our feathered synergy if we can get those pieces on, then to just keep running with the 2-star Skybreaker. And this is great news for us as well. So now our backline gets a little bit stronger. And a 2-star Wind Ranger. Wonderful sort of nuking piece once he gets his ult off. So pretty excited for that. We reposition now for Wolfpack. And if you guys have been with the channel for long, you'll know that this is something that I was so poor at. Constantly forgetting to reposition for the Wolfpack. And in my most recent videos, I think I've been much better at that. So I am learning and improving and not being so forgetful and being more cognizant of what I need to be achieving here. And so yeah, we do get the reposition in. Is it going to be enough? I'm not sure. Wind Ranger does come in with quite a nice little ultimate there. And we do have our Skybreaker still in and our Taboo still in. So that's going to give us a bit of frontline synergy or tankiness there. And yeah, we're going to take it. So bit closer than I would have liked, but at least we take the W, and that's good news for us. We also have some nice items coming along, and we have the shield. The shield is really great because it's potential Heaven's Gift happening, and in a Hunter synergy, I would say actually in most synergies, but definitely in a Hunter synergy, it could make sense to put that on like a Whisper Seer or even a Warpwood for the Razor Claw, because a lot of your units are quite clustered, and that'll give them nice protection, and you need that frontline protection so that your hunters have time to hit their DPS. We pick up a very lucky shop there, which is awesome for us. So we get an immediate 2-star Shadow Crawler, and that's again more feathered synergy and tankiness. So I think it's worth putting her in over having the Skybreaker in. So we sell the Skybreaker immediately. It's not contributing towards much for us except for the strong front line, and we are looking to build that up quite soon. We do have the Razor Claw and we do have the Whisper Seer, so that'll help us a little bit with tankiness once we get to level them up a bit. And as you can see, second on our DPS list is our Shadow Crawler, so she's definitely a valuable unit to have in. And now we start creating tankiness. We get our second Warpwood Sage and another Taboo, and our front line again is at a stronger level, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so this is a Glacier Knight comp, and I don't think it's a bad comp. I think that it's just a quality of units issue there. The other team didn't have a lot of 2-star units. I think they could have been trouble for us, but the quality of our units is high, and also we've protected our backline really well, so quite happy with that. We'll probably pick up the Warpwood here. I wouldn't be surprised if we picked up the Shining Archer as well, because we don't have a 2-star E-Ranger, and the 1-star Shining Archer you may as well put in, because if we get the Whisper Seer in, we then have 6 feathered synergy, so it just brings us one step closer to feathered synergy, and that's always useful to have in terms of this mid game. Getting 6 feathered is very useful. Okay, so this team is pretty packed with 2-star. You can see that most of their units are 2-star units. I think almost all of them were 2-star units, and that's going to be tough for us. We're fortunate enough again that we have the feathered synergy at a 3 level already, and that we have a strong backline. So we actually clutched that one quite nicely, and that puts us back into a nice, continuing on our nice streak, and we get our second Warpwood Sage, which is also very useful, because I mean, we could potentially here even either level up soon. It's only around 19, so we'll probably wait till around 21 to level up. But we could put the Whisper Seer or the Warpwood Sage in and get rid of the Tusk Champion, because 6/6 synergy from a feather perspective is going to be very helpful for us moving into the mid to late rounds. So that'll be quite nice. Okay, here we have a dragon team. You can see they're going dragons and knights, which is a strong comp at the moment. I found dragon knights to be very useful. Any of the dragon comps are actually pretty decent at the moment, but we still take it, and that's a quality issue. If they had a stronger quality team there, in other words they had more 2-star units, I think we could have lost that round, but we've been quite fortunate in being able to build up our pieces quickly, and that's the benefit of going feathered. Because there's druid comp in there, you can often get your 2-star units quite quickly. We do pick up the unicorn as well, so that'll give us our first 3-star unit. So again, just another example of how quickly you can actually level up here. It is lethal Ursa now, so I would expect that we don't spend any more money. We rather wait for the interest from this match, because it's a creep round, and then next round I would think we would probably level up to level 8. It will be on curve as well, so that's great. It'll cost us 10 econ. We get to level 8 and we can put on the Whisper Seer. Normally the Razor Claw would be a preferred option at one star, but I think we'd probably go Whisper Seer simply because we get 6 synergy on the Feathered. So we definitely want Razor Claw in there, but we're just going to be a little bit patient with him, and I'm assuming we're going to put Whisper in and get 6 synergy, and we do. Okay, cool. So now our Feather synergy, our evasion is going to be nice and high, and that'll help us with a lot of these matches. It's also going to help us if we're on a good win streak now. I think it's 8 or 10. And to maintain that win streak, this feather is going to be quite a nice little buff for us. Up against a solid warrior team here. It's not quite beast warrior yet, it's more of a straight warrior team. But this can be tough for us because they're all 2-star and they're super tanky, and they've already hit our backline. So that's a bit concerning for us. They've got a 2-star Doom as well. That's going to be a bit of a nightmare. The fact that we actually won that match is a bit unbelievable, but I think what clutched it was the 6 feathered evasion, because you saw the Shadow Crawler there getting in damage, and that 2-star Doom wasn't killing her quick enough, and that allowed our hunters to get their last shots off. So if we hadn't put on 6/6 feathered the previous round, I can almost guarantee we would have lost that. That round.
My arrow always arrives on time.
Okay, that was a call I'm not too sure about. It's 2-star Shining Assassin's not even that strong. We do want to get our backline a bit stronger because our front line is being put under a lot more pressure, so I can understand somewhat the logic there. That being said, we could have got a 2-star Razor Claw, which in terms of econ would have been a better decision. I think I was being a little bit rushed in trying to maintain the win streak. So I knew I wasn't going to get the Razor Claw on the board just yet because I'm not at level 9. Also, yes, there was already another egg there, so I knew that I had an egg to spare, but more importantly, even if I level up the Razor Claw now, I'm not going to be able to put it on the board unless I get rid of the Tusk Champion, which is, again, potentially something I could do. But I think because we're running Druid, why use the egg when if I find one more Razor Claw I can already level up? So it's almost as though I already have an egg on the bench because I'm just waiting for one more Razor Claw. So I'm okay that I didn't use that. If I was struggling in the match and I was in a losing position and I really needed a strong unit on the board, I would absolutely have leveled up that Razor Claw. But yeah, a bit of a wishy-washy decision. I'm not going to say it was a good decision. It might not have been, but we're still doing okay, so let's just roll with it.
I beat you! Now I can afford a bigger candle!
With the bear cub, you get the claws.
Alright, so there I make the decision to get rid of the Tusk, as we mentioned earlier, level up the Razor Claw and get him on the field, because he is a really strong tanky unit. That Panda Bear is phenomenal, and if you've got Whispers here bringing summons or treants onto the board, and you have Razor Claw bringing the Panda onto the board, it just really helps your front line distract the opponents while your hunters get the DPS off. So as you can see now, no one's managed to get to the back line yet. Okay, now the dragon's there, but prior to that there was no one coming there, and that means that if you look at the DPS bar, you'll see that our Wind Ranger managed to get a lot of nice damage in there for us, and that's exactly the idea of this strat. So now we have lots of econ, and we're actually not even going to spend too much of it now. We spent a little bit to level up there, which is a bit surprising for me. I guess it doesn't really matter because you're on such a heavy win streak right now, but we could have got a bit of extra econ there just by waiting for the end of the creep round before we made those changes. That being said, we're on a substantial win streak. Our HP is in a good place. We don't want to be too greedy with our money. We've learned the hard way that being greedy with the money can put your team at detriment in the long term of the game. And we get a teleport dagger. When it comes to feathered comps, Teleport Dagger on the Taboo Witcher can be especially useful when you're up against high mana use teams. So an example is mages. If we get some serious mage teams popping up late game here, putting that Taboo Witcher, potentially getting it to 3-star and putting the Teleport Dagger on there is going to jump her straight to the back line, and she can actually start hitting those mages really soon and preventing them from getting ults off. So that's one reason why I recommend using it on Taboo Witcher. It is very situational. There's many times where I have a Taboo Witcher or when I have a Teleport Dagger and I don't even use it for the rest of the match. So, you know, very situational item. Okay, we're up against Kurami. Kurami has a really strong team here. The 2-star Zerka is always a nightmare. The 2-star Soul Reaper just as bad. And yeah, I'd be very surprised if we pick this up. And yeah, Kurami knocks us off our long win streak that we were running there. And this again is what I was talking about around econ. We still don't have the 3-star units that we could have if we had spent a little bit extra money and maybe rolled down. Let's say we rolled down to 30. We could have had a 3-star Razorclaw. We could have had a 3-star Whisperseer. We could have had we already have the 3-star Warpwitch. So having those extra 3-star units could have helped us to win those sorts of rounds, but we were a bit greedy with our cash. The flip side is we are level 9 before almost everyone else. And so we do have the added piece advantage, and our econ is still at a good place. So a little bit of pros and cons. It would have been nice to maintain the win streak, but our team is strong at the moment, and I think it's going to come down to whether or not we find those 3-star units and then build up the quality of our backline.
My cloak's good luck. It only ever caught fire twice.
Get our next Razorclaw. I know a lot of people will be fighting with me. There we go, a bit of high roll luck there, so we get our 3-star Razorclaw quite quickly. We didn't pick up the Unicorn for Unicorn Trick. We probably could have. I just didn't want to waste time. I think Unicorn Trick, especially in the early and mid game, super important, and it's actually a really good tool just to make sure that you put yourself at a good economy space. But I think our economy was pretty high there. I wasn't fighting for 1 or 2 extra gold. It might have been useful, but I'd rather focus the APM at this stage of the game on my units, understanding what items they have, potentially scouting other people, positioning, etc. Unicorn is great, but it's not going to be the focus of my preparation phase unless I really need economy. And my economy is in a decent position now, so that's why I chose not to do that.
You can't hold a candle to my power.
There's an arrow with your name on it.
Awesome. This is our 3-star coming through here. We also get the Taboo, which means we're 1 away from a 3-star Taboo. We'll probably pick up the Shining Archer as well. Shining Archer is not that great a piece, but if you can get her to 3-star, she can be quite useful as well. I think in any hunter comp, obviously first prize, if you get a 3-star Wind Ranger, very unlikely, but that would be great. 3-star Dwarf, very good unit to have. But the most likely hunter units that you're going to get to 3-star is your E-Ranger and your Shining Archer. So that's why I'm pushing for those right now. See if we can get them to 3-star. They're lower cost units, so it makes more sense economically. And we already have quite a strong team. Our HP is in a good position. People are starting to drop off. If you look at 4th, 5th and 6th position, they're all sub 10 in terms of HP. So what we really need to do now is try and get some of these other units to 3-star, the lower cost units, and potentially Taboo, which at a 3-star is also a really useful piece, especially when you're up against other mage teams. And you can see we still have 1 mage team in. I don't know if they're going to last much longer, but mage teams have this tendency to, you know, have very little HP and then suddenly make these huge comebacks. So let's see what happens. Thunderhide I'm not too concerned about. I think we'll be okay here. We've got a pretty strong team, and the Panda's only just come out to play now, so pretty comfortable. We have all our ranged units at a 2-star. That's where you want to be with hunters. So our comp is quite close to being, you know, complete. What could be nice potentially here, we could get rid of an E Ranger as an example, maybe get a good Siren in there. That would be nice. Or if we level up to level 10, I mean, look at our econ. We're just really not, we're being really greedy and not spending our econ. And I think that's why we decide to make the call here to push to push for level 10. Spend some of that econ. Guys, econ means absolutely nothing if it's just sitting in your bank account and you're sitting with pieces that could be leveled up. You obviously want to make sure that you look after your economy, but it doesn't mean you need to be greedy. If you need to spend some econ, spend some econ. I think I left it there because of the creep round, so I was sitting on like 70 odd econ, which is great. But yeah, you don't need to be much above 50 in all fairness. Cool. And this is us against Mr. Dip, and we actually knock him out there. So unlucky for him, a bit unfortunate. We have gotten rid of our unicorn because we've got all of our druids at a 3-star already. 3-star shadow crawler would also be a really nice piece to have right now. Our focus though is our backline, so we pick up the shining archer, and we're going to try and hopefully pick up some Pegasus rangers as well. But our team is already pretty strong. You know, we've built up some really good 3-star units, and we didn't do it through the losing streak strategy. So that's quite nice. That's quite nice. Here's our mage team. They've also got a God of Thunder in, so this is going to be tricky for us. And I think we are. They absolutely annihilate us there. They've also got 2-star wind rangers on the back line, and that's a nightmare. So that's Klimpo, and he's sitting in a precarious position in as much as he has very little HP, very little econ, so all he needs is a bit of unlucky RNG and he's going to be knocked out there. We are facing Goteto on his page, and we'll probably win this, but it's not going to knock him out. So he's now also struggling at the bottom, but I don't think that mage comp is actually going to survive into the really late rounds. It's reasonably strong, but I don't think it was that strong. We will see how it plays out. Now's the decision. Do we take Tsunami Stalker? We lock it in. So we want to maintain our econ here. As you can see, there's only 2 people that still have econ, and one of them's on a substantial, it's on a losing streak at the moment. And to be on a losing streak with 26 HP, not a good place to be, especially in the late game like this. So he's probably a bit concerned with whether or not he's managed to build the comp that he wants, and I would assume he hasn't. We're now up against Kurami though, and Kurami's a strong team because he's got the 3-star Hull Knight, and the 2-star Zerka, and the 2-star Soul Reaper. So this is going to be the team that we need to beat. There you can see Klimpo eventually is knocked out, and we are going to lose this round because our 2-star Dwarf Sniper can never take on that 3-star Hull Knight. Okay, so that looks like it's the team that we need to look out for. This is the comp we were talking about at the beginning of the video. That we need to watch out for is this Glacier Knight comp, and that's Kurami's comp. It's a really strong comp, especially with the Soul Reaper, the Zerka, and the 3-star Hull Knight. It's starting to take like proper end game shape, and that's the one we're going to be looking out for. So we decide to put in our Tsunami Stalker, and I think what we will probably look at doing, maybe, I'm not sure if we're going to manage to pull it off because we'll need to change some things up here, is maybe go 6 hunters. I'm not sure if we do it or if we're able to do it, but that's potentially something we'll look at. This is Goteto, and he's gone Goblin Gamble. Goblin Gamble, if it pays off, is super strong, and as you can see, he's got the Devastator there, and he's got his units to 3-star. So Goteto, going to be a tricky one for us. Okay, OU, not so heavy. I think he's on his way out, in all fairness and honesty. I don't think he's going to make it much longer. The problem in our current setup is that we already have 10 units, and if we wanted to put in a 6th hunter, we're going to lose feathered synergy because we can't take our hunters out, obviously. which means the only other players we could take out is a 3-star Razor Claw, which we're not going to do, or a feathered unit, and I don't think we're going to do that. So a bit of a tricky predicament here. What we could do is replace Tsunami Stalker with Siren. That could be useful. I think we have to keep an eye on Tsunami Stalker. So have a look at Tsunami. Let's see how he's doing. Keep an eye on him through the next rounds because it's going to be an important talking point for this video. Here we pick up a Siren. And this is exactly the point that I was making. If you have a look, see what happens now. We're going to keep, I think, Tsunami Stalker in for 1 or 2 rounds, and we're going to see how he's performing against the other teams. Where's the Siren? Okay, pick it up, put it in, and this is where it becomes comparative. Is Siren going to do a better job for us, or is Tsunami Stalker going to be doing a better job for us? Let's have a look and see what happens. We roll down to 40 as well, so that's an important point to note because we are the only team with economy at the moment, so we need to use that economic sort of status that we have at the moment and power to our advantage. We're up against OU, who's now got a 3-star Hell Knight and has suddenly become pretty strong. So this is one for us to watch out for as well. You can see here we lose quite badly, and now we're actually on a losing streak. So as strong as we started and as well as we built our team up, and even though we got good quality going, we're now losing, and we're losing against these Glacier Knight teams. So we need to make a change, we need to make a transition, we need to make something different happen if we're going to not go out within the next couple of rounds. So this is a big moment for us, and I think the game changer might just come through right here. We managed to pick up the strange egg and put on a 2-star Siren. Let's see the difference in terms of how it affects this playing against this sort of Glacier Knight comp. Watch the Siren. Let's see there comes the ultimate in. It affects the 2-star Zerka, which is a big deal for us because, as we know, the 2-star Zerka is super powerful. And now we're left with their 2 3-star units, the Desperate Doctor and the Hell Knight, and notice the difference there. Okay, we were losing to Kurami quite heavily, and that Siren has come in clutch. So big deal there, big game changer for us. At the same time, we managed to pick up our 3-star shining archer, so that's good news. And we decide that we don't have space for the Tsunami Stalker, and the value that the Siren is providing for us is far more useful. Notice also that the only reason we managed to get that right is because we spent some of our econ. So, although we were complaining about being greedy earlier in the game, our econ has actually really helped save us here, because we were 100% going to be losing to both these Glacier Knight teams. And the Siren has come through. If we can get a mana crystal for that Siren, it's going to be an absolutely clutch piece. But we are still managing to pull through reasonably well here. All things considered. Okay, Goteto gets knocked out, so we pick up some good items there. We do level 3 our Aegisthus as well, and now the quality of our composition is high. We have some good, aside from the druids, we still have three other 3-star units. We also soup up our Siren there with a wonderful item, and I wouldn't be surprised if we put the magic. I thought we'd put it on her as well, but that's okay. She now has sort of much more mana potential. We're up against Kurami again. And watch the Siren again. When Siren ultimates, and there it comes in. Bam! The Hell Knight level 3 is frozen. Previous round Berserker was frozen. And that's the game changer. That's what absolutely, I think, killed it for Kurami. So again, we do take this match using the Feather Hunters up against a really strong Glacier Knight team. And so irrespective of what level you're playing, this is still a comp that can be used, and it is still a powerful comp if you're fortunate enough to get the pieces and the quality that you need. Siren though, clutch piece. So make sure you get your Sirens in there if you're going to run this comp. Without the Siren, we would have lost 100%. We would have lost against those stronger teams. Okay, we did level 10 as well, so that helped us. And we were the only team sort of mid to late game that was still running a hunter comp. So hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please drop a like and a subscribe. We appreciate your support. It's been a great journey, and it's all thanks to you guys. We will catch you in the next gameplay. Until then, enjoy.